everybody. Welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, as usual, y'all know how we do it. Yes, I have to invite everybody in. Why? Because this is the best community on these internet streets, and I am not gatekeeping over here. No, I'm not. And listen, if you've been hanging around listening to the podcast, been over there in the comments enjoying yourself, and you still hadn't subscribed, this is what you need to do. You need to go in your settings, look around, find that subscribe button, and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit your notification bell too, so you know when I upload or when I just want to pop in. And give me a thumbs up to fight that nemesis of mine, the beast, the algorithm. Is still on my neck, y'all. I cannot lie about it. But y'all are doing a great job. Just keep it up. And I will get back on top. I will. Also, I just want to give a quick shout out and a big thank you to all the readers who decide to support the channel by watching the commercials. Y'all are doing a great job as usual. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, over in the corner, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting this channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I will be so grateful, so thankful, so over the moon appreciative to have your support. Also, if you just want to do a one-time donation, look around down there. They keep moving around, but the super thanks button is somewhere down there, and click it. And if you decide to click it and support the channel, all donations to the channel is always, always greatly appreciated. All right, y'all, we do have a couple of super thanks. And first up is one of my favorites. She is everything, Miss Annette Sweat. She has been with me since the beginning. I always say that because I appreciate her so much for her unwavering support. Annette doesn't waver. She is constant. She is continual. She is steady in her support for the read, and I am so grateful and so thankful for that. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Annette. Thank you for being a ride or die. Thank you for being here. Just thank you for being you, because you are everything. And also we have Yulette. Yulette is just everything as well. Now, she hadn't been with me as long as Annette has, but let me tell you, she is equally unwavering in her support. She is a ride or die, always down with the read, always in the comments. You couldn't ask for a better subscriber than Yulette. She is everything. She is a quintessential reader. She is. And I'm so thankful to have her. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Yulette. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. Thank you. All right, y'all, we're going to play this and we'll talk on the other side. Y'all, I want to give another quick shout out to two wonderful people. Yes, Miss Annette Sweat and Yulette. Y'all are everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the super thanks. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for being unwavering in your support. Just thank you for being you. And most of all, thank you for being here. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is, and y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets, and let me tell you, it's some fun things going on. It is some peculiar things going on, and it is some interesting things going on these internet streets, and we're going to talk about all of them. First, we're going to talk about the little video that Meghan dropped yesterday. She did. She dropped it late. and it's of her and Harry dancing, and they're doing their wedding dance. And the person who shot the video, well, that right there is very interesting as well. And we got some stuff we want to talk about when it comes to Willie and Kitty, what's going on there. And a new support poll came out. Yes, it did. And we're going to talk about what the squatties had to say about that, because we all know that that is nothing but grade A bullshit. Yes, those support polls are absolutely meaningless. I'll tell you the poll that really means something, and that's the barrier poll. And we all know how that goes for them anytime it is taken. I'm just saying. And we're also going to talk about how the girls are fighting. Yes, the girls are fighting. And I am not talking about Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm talking about flying monkeys. They are fighting amongst each other, and I am loving it. And we're going to talk about that. We have some other stuff. Y'all know I always dig up other stuff. So just buckle in. I'm not going to keep you long, but I promise to keep you entertained. And we're going to start with this one. And this right here is the fun part. Yes, this is the video that Harry and Meghan dropped. Well, Meghan dropped on her Instagram story. And it's of Harry and Meghan dancing. And guess who is shooting the video? That would be none other than Princess Lilibeth Diana. Yes, Lily is shooting the video. She is the one that is recording her parents doing this very, very sweet dance. And it is their wedding dance. Yes, they are recreating their wedding dance. And like I have said time and time again, of course, I am not posting the video. I am just going to do some screen grabs because I want y'all to go over to Megan's page. Go over there, watch it over there, show her some love, give her like, and just support her page. She needs the traffic. And also, don't forget about Sussex.com. Always click on Sussex.com, give it traffic. I always try to do it once a week or so to give it traffic, to show that internet traffic is continuing to gravitate towards that website. So yes, go over to Instagram, go over to Megan's page and watch it and give her a like. Yes, because the whole video, it is so cute. And I love the song by Olivia Dean. It is so cute. I never heard of it before. It's called So Easy to Fall in Love. And it's my understanding that she is a British artist. She is. And you know what kind of vibe she gives to me? She gives me that Sade vibe. She do. I love Sade. I know Sade is British as well. And she gives me that vibe, that neo soul vibe that Sade has. Yes, I love it. I love all of it. I really don't think Megan could have chose a better song for the video. She has great taste in music. She really does. And if you follow her Instagram, Megan opens you up to different artists because I've never heard of Olivia Dean. But here she is, and she is going to be very, very successful because I love this song. It just has that groove. I just love everything about the video. Can you tell? Yes. And the caption on the video was, when 2026 feels like 2016, you had to be there. And a lot of people think that this is Megan following a trend that has been going around on social media where you do 10 years later. And so it could be, it couldn't be, who knows? I don't know. But I tell you what, it is cute. And this particular squatty posted about it and said, Harry and Meghan dancing their wedding dance, and then 8 years after, they're still dancing while their daughter films them. Yes, it is so cute, isn't it? I'm telling you, how can Harry and Meghan get any cuter? And having Princess Elizabeth to record them, It is cuteness overload at this point. What do y'all think? It is too cute. And the way this squatty did this and put it side by side, the wedding dance and Meghan and Harry, and how I mean, their responses, their mannerisms are just exactly the same as it was on their wedding day. That's love. That's true love. And I'm here for it. I must say, I am here for it. And this what he said, such a precious moment. I absolutely love. Me too. Me too. I love seeing people in love. And y'all, I might be in love myself. I might be. I am. I am. I'm not even going to lie about it. Yes. I have a sweet guy of my own, and it is wonderful to have someone to love and to see other people have love in their lives. I don't understand the haters. I don't. I could never be a hater. How can you hate someone who loves each other? That's all Harry and Meghan ever wanted to do, was to love one another and be in peace. But yeah, you have people who absolutely are so bitter themselves that when they see someone that loves each other, they hate on them because they don't have it for themselves. And that is my theory. I really feel that haters have no self love. They don't. They don't even love themselves, so they don't expect other people to love them as well. But when they see a couple like Harry and Meghan just loving each other and being happy, it is an offense to them. They are so bitter and so dark inside that they just can't handle someone else's love. But if you're a good person, you have self love, and you love to see other people happy, even when you don't even have it in your own life, you love to see it. It's a manifestation that it does exist, and you say, well, maybe that someday it'll happen for me because you're a positive person. But these people are not. They are absolutely black-hearted, and seeing Harry and Meghan's love is an offense to them. Now tell me if I'm off the track here, but that is where I think all the hate is coming from when it comes to these ugly old hags, these toadies, these arrangers, and these flying monkeys as well. Cause y'all know that covenant of witches over there at the Daily Fail, that's all they do is talk ish about Harry and Meghan. It seems as if Harry and Meghan's success and their love for each other absolutely turns their stomachs. And we all know none of them over there has a successful marriage or love life between them. So it has to be that. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I know sometimes I get off track, y'all, but I had to share that. But I digress. Yes, this is a home run again. Harry and Meghan just being in love. And you know that this strikes at the heart of the derangers. It does. They are not having a good time after seeing this, because we know that they love to predict the downfall of this marriage. Yes, every other day, Harry and Meghan is getting a divorce, while Willie and Kitty are over there not living in the same house anymore. Y'all, I digress, y'all. I will get off track. But yes, I had to say that. I had to say that. But yes, I love this. And I'm going to put this one up. This is a repost, and the original post said, I really spoke this 2016 trend post by Meghan into existence. Yeah, so this squatty is saying that she wanted Meghan to do this trend post, and that it is a trend going on just like this on these internet streets, that you post something 10 years on. And I love it. I love that Harry and Meghan are on trend, pray say. I guess you could say it that way. And the squatty goes on and says, Meghan posted this picture and video caption, when 2026 feels just like 2016. You had to be there. Yes, I thought it was a trend. I did. And I love that Meghan and Harry is keeping on trend. They know what's going on. And this is just really, really sweet. And the squatty that reposted this said, "This is called living your life like it's golden." Now, I'm just going to say this. Now, y'all know I just said that I really, really like this song that Megan chose to go along with the video by Olivia Dean. So easy to fall in love. Yes, I do. I think it's perfection. I really, really do. But when this squatty said, that Harry and Meghan was living their life like it's golden, it really made me think about the Jill Scott song. Yes, living your life like it's golden. Yes, that would have been a perfect song as well because it's messy. And we all know the reason it's messy is because all of the haters hate to see Harry and Meghan live the good life. We know that they really hate to see Meghan. They hate it with a passion. They don't think she deserved anything. Now, they don't think Harry deserved much, but they think Meghan deserves even less. Meghan having nice things really, really gags them. And to put it to song with Jill Scott, living my life like it's golden, and Harry and Meghan dancing on their huge lawn of their mansion, oh yeah, the girls would be gagged. Yes, they would be gagged about that one. Now that right there would have been tea. It would have been tea, y'all. Y'all know it would have been tea. But I know Megan is not me. She is not messy like I am. But I agree with this squatty. Yes, they're living their life like it's golden. Why not put it to song? I'm just saying, y'all. But it goes on and says, peaceful under a tree, being able to post whatever you can on Instagram and not give a F about the establishment and reporters. Exactly. Yes, that right there is living your life like it's golden. If y'all hadn't heard that song by Jill Scott, go on YouTube and look it up. It is perfection as well. Y'all, because Harry and Meghan are living that song. I'm just saying. Now, I'm not saying they're not living so easy to fall in love, but they also living their lives like it's golden as well. All right, y'all, we're going to switch gears a little bit. It looks like a new emotional support poll has come out from YouGov, and at the top of it would be William. Yes, Willie. Willie is absolutely revered at 77%, and Catherine comes in at 74, slightly lower. Isn't it something that the future of the monarchy is held in such high regard when it comes to the British public? Now, they ain't gonna stand behind no barriers and support them that way, but if you ring them up and inform them that you are conducting a poll, it seems that the British public has no qualms in saying that Willie and Kitty are much loved. But don't ask us to stand behind any barriers now. We ain't gonna do that. Y'all, I cannot with these people. I cannot with the gaslighting. It is ridiculous. Well, it goes on and says Anne is at 70%, Charles at 60, Edward at 51, Sophie at 50, Camilla 42, Beatrice 37, Eugenie 36, and Harry comes in at 31. Yes, they say Harry is deeply, deeply unpopular with the public, but he is more popular than Meghan, who sits at 19. Now, you would think that a couple whose popularity is as low as they are saying Harry and Meghan is, that they wouldn't talk about them all the time. That everything is Harry and Meghan, and the two most popular cannot occupy a headline or a title of an article without including Harry and Meghan, who is at the bottom, just above Andrew, who is an alleged pedo. I mean, It all makes no sense. It is as if they want us to believe that 2 plus 2 is 5. Now let's dig into these numbers. They're saying really his negative rating is 15, Kitty's negative rating is 12, Harry's negative rating is 60, and Meghan's negative rating is 66. It makes no sense to me that a couple who has a negative rating between 12 and 15% is so fearful of a couple who has a negative rating between 60 and 66. It makes no sense. They should not fear Harry and Meghan. Why are they running around so scared? If these numbers are true, why are you so scared? And why, oh, why do you not want them to return to the UK? Why is it that you have a problem with them being in the same country as you if you're so much more popular than they are? It makes no sense. None of it does. And they know it makes no sense. They just don't want you to absolutely put it all together and know how to add it up. Because if I was sitting on a 77% approval rating, I wouldn't care what my little old brother, who is liked by only 30% of my subjects, I wouldn't care what he was doing. Why you care so much? It makes no sense. And the same thing with Kitty. She's sitting on a 74, but you are absolutely sweating bullets because a woman might show up who has an approval rating of 19? Stop it. Stop it. Y'all, you cannot make that nonsense make sense. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up. This squatty reposted that emotional support YouGov poll and then reposted the article that said that Kate was going to crush Meghan when it came to her Christmas Carol concert and Meghan's With Love Meghan, the holiday celebration. That Meghan was just going to be crushed and she knew it. And then this squatty put in as a receipt that no, Meghan was not crushed by Kitty. Not at all. Meghan actually debuted in the top 10 on a paid streaming service now. Paid streaming service in the top 10 of 26 countries. No, it was no crushing being done. No, not by Kitty, not at all. And this squatty also included where the ratings came out for Kitty's Christmas Carol concert, or whatever you want to call it, that monstrosity, that it did not even rate in the top 50 and it was free to watch. It was not on a paid streaming service. But yet and still, somehow, Kitty has a 74% approval rating compared to Meghan's 19%. Yes, we are to believe that Kitty is somehow much more loved than Meghan. Stop it. Stop it right now because it just doesn't add up. We do not believe that 2 plus 2 equals 5. You just cannot make it into that. Kitty has a 74% approval rating and cannot, on public television with free access, cannot make it into the top 50 for her annual event, while Meghan, this is the first year she has done it, has managed to make it in the top 10 in 26 countries. But we are to believe that Meghan is the one that is so deeply, deeply unpopular. Yes, we're supposed to believe that smoke going up our skirts. I cannot. And I'm going to put this up. This is another post from YouGov saying that 64% of Brits believe that the UK should continue to have a monarchy. Yes, 64% of the people of Great Britain feels that they should continue to allow these people to grift off of them. That's what they want us to believe. I don't believe it for a minute. It says should continue to have a monarchy, 64%, and should have elected head of state, 23%. All I can say to this is I don't believe it. I do not believe that the people of Great Britain cannot see through this grift, cannot see through this scam. And 60% of them wants to continue to allow this family to pick their pockets. I'm just saying, I don't believe it no more than I believe the whole popularity of Willie and Kitty. They say, on one, you're telling us that the future monarchs are the most popular and saviors of the institution. On the other, you're telling us that the future monarch is so afraid of his brother and family visiting his homeland that the future monarch has hired a crisis specialist. Exactly. Exactly. You look at these polls, how is it that this couple who is so popular, why are they sweating bullets like I said before? Why are they losing their SHIT? Why are they hiring a crisis manager? And I'm going to put this up. And this is from page 6. We know that it is trash, to say the least. It is a Murdoch entity. So we take everything that appears in page 6 with a grain of salt. But we also know that Kensington Palace plants stories in page 6 and in Murdoch entity. So that is the reason why we continue to pay them any attention. And this squatty posted an article from page 6, and the title of the article is Prince William and Kate Middleton's latest high-profile hire linked to fear over Prince Harry, Meghan Markle's UK return. Now make that one make sense after you saw that YouGov poll. They're out here planning articles saying that they are fearful of Harry and Meghan's return. I believe that to be true, but I don't believe that is the reason why the story is getting planted. I think they are hiding something, and what they're hiding is the separation. They don't want anyone to know that they are separated because they have this image, at least in their heads, because people already can see what's in front of their eyes, and that is that this couple is not connected in any form of fashion. But they still think that they are fooling the public. They do. In their heads, they really think they are pulling it off. But in actuality, not so much. People can see what's going on. They can. People know what love is. A lot of people have love in their lives, so they know it doesn't look like Willie and Kitty walking around looking like they hate one another and they can't stand each other. You look back at that Christmas walk. They never even made eye contact. They never touched each other. They never looked at each other. So you trying to tell me that this couple is not separated? Stop it. So I think this is what these stories are about. Trying to cover up the fact that they did not want it to come out that they're separated. I'm just saying, y'all tell me what y'all think. But this particular squatter that posted this article said, below is the British media's case of repeating the lie until enough people believe it. They always use Prince Harry and Meghan as distractions to hide the truth about William and Kate living separate lives. Exactly. Prince Harry has been in the UK multiple times already. Fear for a what? What? Dot, 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 dot. Just fill in the blank. What are they so afraid of? Being found out. I'm just saying. And this squatty says they used when the story about William and Rose Hanbury came out They threw Harry and Meghan under the bus to kill the story and save William and his marriage. Now they are doing the same thing by using Prince Harry and Meghan to distract people from that video. I must say, I agree with this squatty. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but I agree with this squatty. I think they are absolutely panicking because they've never experienced any kind of scrutiny or blowback. This is something new for them. It is new for them to have someone looking at their behavior like the squad does and posting videos that go viral like the squad did. So, yeah, they're panicking, and I think this is a distraction trying to put it on Harry and Meghan when in actuality it's about their behavior and their inability to be able to deal with scrutiny. I'm just saying. Now, I'm going to put this up, and this squatty has a different take on it all. And it is so thought provoking. It really is. This is a repost, and the original post said, "No doubt the crisis manager will be on standby." Now, what this squatty is talking about is the upcoming trial, the upcoming court case that Harry is having against the fam. And they are saying, this is the take now, they're saying that the reason that Willie has hired this crisis manager is because he is fearful that something might come out in this court case that might be damaging for him or Kitty or both. I don't know. What y'all think about this tape? And the squatty that reposted this said, "I think you're on to something. The Daily Fails trial may expose Willie." What y'all think? I must confess, the first thought that popped in my head was Thomas Kingston. Yes, I said maybe. And then I said, that doesn't have anything to do with this case. But this particular post is very thought provoking, isn't it? It really makes you think, is there something going on there? Because it is really strange for Willie to hire a crisis manager and then say he did it because it was no crisis. It makes no sense. Do you think that Willie is terrified of something that might come out in this trial? Now, he is hot. He is smoking hot about Harry even going to court. And we all know how Charles feels about it. Because y'all remember in Spare when Harry wrote about when he met with Willie and Charles after Prince Philip's funeral, and the first thing they asked about was the lawsuits. Are they fearful of something that might come out in this trial? Harry knows what's going to come out in this trial. He already knows. Harry knows a lot. He knows where all the bones are buried. Yes, he does. And he knows that his family are snakes. And that gives me comfort to know that Harry is not going to ever return, and he's never going to trust them. Because I remember Harry in that BBC interview, the last one he did, he indicated that he knew a large amount of what they had done, including putting his and his wife's life in jeopardy, telling other countries that they didn't have to protect them. Y'all remember that? So, yeah, I don't know, y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all think on this one. Do you think that they are afraid of being found out? And that is why Willie has hired this new crisis manager, because it's about what is coming out of this trial or what might be coming out and they have no control over. They know it's coming, so they hired this crisis manager. All I can say is, y'all, keep your popcorn well stocked and your wine racks full, because it is going to get interesting. I cannot wait to Thursday to see how all of this is going to shake out. because it's going to be interesting. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up because this popped up in one of our rags. We have some rags too. Now, they are not as prominent in the US as they are in Great Britain. Now, we pay them no attention as we are in the supermarket and we see them on the racks. We walk right on by because we understand that most of the time is nothing in there except trash. And the Star is one of the biggest, trashiest tabloids it is here in America. But I must admit, sometimes the Star and sometimes the Inquirer, sometimes get it right. And sometimes they print things that no other newspaper dare to print because it's the truth. We found out during this whole election that it was people who were bringing real stories to the likes of the Inquirer, and they were doing the old catch and kill. So it is legitimate stories that come to these tabloids here in America. Now, figuring out which is legit and which is not is absolutely a really hard thing to do. And saying all that to say this right here is a story that no one else will print. It is. You could never, ever get one of those editors of those rags to approve a story like this, even if you had their oldest child and was holding it for ransom. They would never do it. You could not get a UK tabloid to say anything close to this. And I really feel it's very close to being true. Now, this particular post is a repost, and the original post comes from Not My King, and it says, News from the Colonies. The summer wedding is on, meaning Timothy Chalamet and Kylie Jenner's wedding, as you can see that very small picture there. But take a gander over to the left just a little bit, and you see a story that they will never print. The one I am saying will never ever be printed in one of those rags over there. And that is this one right here about Kate. Yes, this is what I mean about why are they just so obsessed about talking about Harry and Meghan when the story of the century is right there under their noses and they're too afraid to print it? Let's look at it, shall we? It has a picture of Kate, a before and after. It has no scar and then it has new scar. Yes, that right there is a bombshell, but they will not print it. And then it says Princess Kate's secret surgery, the shocking truth, and palace cover up. Rush to the emergency room. Was angry William the blame? Divorce rumors explode again. Tell me that is not the story of the century. And you know what? I bet they don't sue. Y'all remember when Tatler wrote that article about Catherine the Great, and the palace had gave permission for that particular article to be written. Well, they didn't like, the tone of that article. At least that is what the author said about it. And they proceeded to go to Tatler and tell them if they did not take it down, they were going to sue. You think they're going to do that to the Star? I don't think so. Why? Because they don't want the smoke. They don't want the smoke because where it's smoke, it is fire, and they don't want to start the fire because we know it would be a five alarmer. Yes, it would be a barn burner. It would absolutely burn the whole monarchy down. That is the reason why they're not going to sue because they want to try to keep it at bay. They don't want it to be known that something went on. We don't know what went on. I'll say that again. We do not know what went on, but we know something has gone on. And what this magazine cover is saying is what squatties have been saying since what, 2023? Yes. And this is the stories that those rags are ignoring while they are talking about a happily married couple who is out on their lawn dancing around is getting a divorce or some other scurrilous thing that they come up with in their favorite minds to put on their rags front pages and ignore stuff like this. It is there for everyone to see. Now, we don't know about all the other stuff, but we do know about the scar. Something has happened there. It's there. We see it. We see it with our two eyes, but they refuse to write about it. They refuse to ask about it. And all I can say is it is not going to stop. The questions, the chatter, the talk is not going to stop. It's not. And that right there might be why they hired the crisis manager. And this other squatty that reposted this said, "Oh, what is this then? Sorry, I was distracted with all the dancing." Yes, Harry and Meghan is outside living their lives, touching grass and living their life like it's golden, but they have what, 200 articles a day written about them, talking about their divorcing, but yet and still all of this is out there for everyone to see and they refuse to touch it. Y'all know Russell Myers has a book coming out called Prince and Princess of Wales. Yes, William and Kate. That's the topic of the subject of his book. But I promise you, nothing like this will be in it. And it's not because they don't know. It's not because he doesn't know. It's because he's too chicken to touch the topic. And until they touch this topic, until they write about this, they have no credibility whatsoever. I have more respect for the Star because at least the Star absolutely put it on the front pages where it belongs. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up. This particular squatty posted that same front page and said, "Star is a rag, but it honestly shocking to see it in print. There's something wrong and it's not a secret." It's not a secret. They know exactly what's going on. And every time they peek their head up above water and write or post something, squatties get in those comments and make sure they know what is going on and it's not a secret. They just refuse to write about it. They do. And you can't have respect for someone who calls themselves a journalist who refuses to write about one of the biggest stories it is of the century. They refuse to do it. They want to waste our time and try to convince us that a happily married couple like Harry and Meghan are divorcing, or pretend like Harry and Meghan is setting up some kind of rival court in the UK. Some nonsense like that, like Richard Maureen Eden is talking about, and even Matt Big Head Wilkerson is calling him out on that. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yet and still, this is what they're doing over there. It is ridiculous. And I'm going to put this up. And this is what I was talking about, just talking about how Matt Big Head Wilkerson has called out Richard Maureen Eden on his nonsense, writing this nonsense, talking about Harry and Meghan is plotting against Willie and Kitty. Now, that's what they want to write about and not the real story, the story of the century that the Star is covering at this time. And so-called journalists like Maureen, they want to waste our time with this kind of nonsense. As you can see, this is what he posted. Meghan and Harry plot. and why Prince William and Catherine have really hired a crisis expert. There's trouble ahead. Read my royal column, which is behind a paywall. Yes, nonsense like this. Now, Kitty's walking around with a big scar upside her head. He ain't got time to figure out what went on there. He wants to make up some nonsense talking about Harry and Meghan are plotting against Kitty and Willie. For what? What are they going to get out of a plot against Kitty and Willie? They don't want Kitty and Willie's life. They don't want to be the king and queen of the United Kingdom. They're happy in Montecito. If they cared about anything that Kitty and Willie had, they would have stayed in the UK. But yet and still, here he is with this nonsense. And a squatty came up under there and said this. Guys, just so you know, Matt Wilkerson from The Sun just called out Richard Eden on his Instagram, essentially saying Richard is crazy for believing that there's a plot afoot. Laugh out loud. Don't you love it when the rats turn on each other? Yes, the girls are fighting. The flying monkeys are fighting. But yeah, even big head, batshit crazy Matt Wilkerson is not even going to go along with this nonsense. Talking about Harry and Meghan are plotting against Willie and Kitty. And this is nothing new. He has been trying to get this whole narrative off the ground for months now. This is not the first article he's written like this. This is about the third or fourth. Yes, he has been trying to stir up hate against Harry and Meghan for a while now with this dumb narrative that somehow Harry and Meghan wants what Kitty and Willie has. And Maureen knows it's just the opposite. Kitty and Willie want what Harry and Meghan has. And this is what he says, reality. Prince Harry, as the founder of Invictus Games, requires adequate security when in Britain as all dignitaries. Media spin, there's a plot to bring Harry and Meghan back. OMG, OMG, William and Kate freaking out. Reality, Harry and Meghan's visits have nothing to do with Wank. Exactly. It has nothing to do with Willie and Kitty. It has everything to do with Invictus, Harry's baby, Harry's creation, Harry's most successful accolade. But Richard Maureen Eden, he knows this. He is happen to cover up something that is coming down the pipe. It has to be something coming down the pike. Something is about to pop off because the crisis manager and all of this nonsense that they are trying to peddle out here, that the crisis manager was hired because of Harry and Meghan, a couple who absolutely never even speaks on Wank, ever. I mean, the last time Meghan said their names was in the Oprah interview. Or was it? Yeah, it was the Oprah interview. It was the Oprah interview. They didn't even mention their names in the Harry and Meghan documentary. At least I don't remember Meghan saying their names. Correct me in the comments, but I don't remember that. And how in the world are you talking about how they are plotting to come back? To come back to what? That's the question. To what? And you know you have to be crazy out of your mind for Matt Big Head Wilkerson from the scum to correct you, because in the column is my understanding that he insinuates that because of some headlines that has come out of the scum, and I think that is responsible, well, the person who wrote them are Matt Big Head Wilkerson, that somehow he's using this as evidence that Harry and Meghan is plotting a comeback. And Matt said, it is crazy. That's crazy. Why would the scum in some way assist Harry and Meghan to come back? All they do is talk trash about them, and Harry is walking around with his pockets fat full of money from the Sun. So it makes no sense. But yes, this is the nonsense that's going on over there. Instead of really focusing in on a real story, they're walking around with this nonsense and going back and forth, fighting. Yes, the girls are fighting over nonsense. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, this is going to be my last one, but I had to include it because it is just chef's kiss. It is just so funny and so on point. And it's from Squatty LJ Lewis. I had to tag her because I have to give her credit. I hope she doesn't mind. Usually I scratch people's names out because I don't know if they'll be happy with it or not if I include it with their names, but I just had to give LJ her props. I did because of this. This is what she posted. She said, "You don't hire a divorce lawyer for marriage counseling, and you don't hire a crisis manager for good vibes. If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a royal PR disaster in a bird suit." And then she put on top, just saying, yes, 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 yes. You don't hire a crisis manager for nothing. And you don't keep talking about why you hired the crisis manager because they keep on planting stories trying to justify why they hired this crisis manager. I mean, it is so funny to me. Like this particular squatty is saying, it is a PR disaster that's dressed up like a bird. Yes, something is going down. Something they're trying to keep undercover or they have no control because it's coming out anyway. And they are busy putting people in place that they feel are qualified to handle it when it all pops off, i.e., this new crisis manager. It's something going on here. And all we got to do is continue to sit back, keep our cupboards stocked with popcorn, and make sure the wine racks are full because we are definitely going to be entertained. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all a little later. Bye.